Okay, so Omer and I are here to talk to you guys about something that you're probably very familiar, which is, just keeping up with change, right? So I'm Marcela Pineda, like you guys heard, Director for Global Talent Development at TELUS Digital. I realize not very many people here know who TELUS Digital is, so let me tell you a little bit about that. We are a customer service excellence organization, over 70,000 employees around more than 20 countries. We have been growing a lot through merger and acquisition, which has its complexities, right? Like adding new companies into the mix, from a cultural perspective, from an integration perspective. So over the last few years, we have been going through this like huge growth spurt, I guess you could say. And so, yeah, change is something that we're very familiar with these days. So I wanted to show you guys a little bit of what our situation was. Maybe it was last year. And it's almost like, the way I see it, it's almost like having an X-ray, right? And when you go to the doctor, you want to have your very individualized like diagnosis and prescription, right? Not just get what everyone else is getting. And that's kind of like what we were doing here at TELUS. We were seeing that our leaders were really struggling with keeping up with change. Some of the things that were changing for us, just to give you guys an idea, is like our whole C-suite changed. Like our CEO, our CHRO, our CFO, everyone was like going out and new people were coming in. And that represented its own challenges. We went public, which I don't know if some people here have like corporate experience, but going public has a lot of challenges that come from like the financial perspectives and the pressure on the people, and now reporting results quarter over quarter. So that had a lot of complexity added into the mix. We continue to add M&As. Part of our caring culture is promoting from within. So, of course, we wanted to make sure that we developed our talent internally instead of just hiring from outside, right, from that experience. We changed our name. So we had been TELUS International for the longest time. And now we have the name of TELUS Digital. Because back in the day, having the name TELUS International, it was self-explanatory, like the reach we had. But nowadays, international is table stakes, so it didn't really differentiate us anymore. So we took on the name of TELUS Digital because it speaks more to the digital solutions that now we bring forward. But that also means that our leaders need to really embrace the new identity. It's not just a rebrand. It's who we are and what we offer, and the game, the players are now different, right? In addition to that, with going public, with the growth trajectory and ambitious goals that our CEO has, and we all really want this company to continue to grow, that means like 10x the company, right? Continue to generate revenue, continue to have really healthy margins. We heard a lot the let's do more with less, right? Let's do a lot more automation where it makes sense. There was the embracing AI, just like everyone else, and reinventing the business. So our leaders were really pressured with all of this, having almost like homegrown skills, right? So all of a sudden, it was like, okay, I've been doing this job. We have high tenures. Like I've been in the company for 20 years. So you could see how I've seen the transformation. I am homegrown, but now playing at, major leagues, and now your development, like from a skills and value to the business, there's a lot of, you're being asked to provide a lot more value a lot faster, right? So with that in mind, we had this challenge. And it's like we have homegrown talent. They come from a variety of backgrounds. Some people were more like from a finance or learning or operations. Now we're seeing a matrix of skills, and there's a lot of gaps, right? And some people have the self-awareness of what they're missing, but some other people, even if they have the self-awareness, they are like in the middle of the whirlwind, and it's very hard for them to stop and slow down and put the time in for their own development because they're really being pressured with delivering right away. So it's almost like a target audience that has no time to waste. They have no time for like the extra layers of things that they want to make sure that whatever you're giving them, it's relevant and it's going to work its magic right away. They want very tactical, things that they can implement right away. They really have no time to waste. So when we started to put together a solution, we had this in mind. It's like our senior leaders, they really don't have the time to leave their operations. So we have to be very laser focused as to who we bring to the table to help develop them. So when we came up with a curriculum that really helped them, we thought about 3 pillars. And this is based on a book called Conscious Business. And it's the I, the we, and the it. So when we started to think about various solutions to put in place, when we thought about the I, we quickly identified that they needed to develop skills, but the skills I needed to develop may be different from the ones Omer needed to develop. So we really didn't want to have this cookie cutter approach. We wanted, if one of the things that AI is bringing is that it's very personalized talent development. And it's very much choose your own adventure, individualized, skills or programs or roadmaps that you can do. So we wanted to make sure that whatever each one had ahead of them, it was going to be tailored to them and their needs. So this is where we found Growthspace. And we were able to partner with Growthspace to make sure that from the moment they had their skill gaps or objectives identified, that they could have a route to quickly developing those skills. And some of the feedback that I got from the people that participated was that they found value from the very first conversation they had. At first, they were skeptical. It's like, here we go in another program that is probably, I'm coming here because the business is investing and they're asking me to. But what I found is that there was a lot of people that were saying, I want more. Can you get me more credits, more conversations with these leaders? Because these were specifically matching a person's preferences, industry background, and skills they were wanting to work. So that's probably the reason why from the very first conversation there was a lot of value. And that's some of the things that we've been doing, but we also started to think about what else can we do, and part of our roadmap on the other 2 pillars that we have, the it, which is the business, and the we, which is the team. We want to make sure that we are tackling some of the overall skill development, and Growthspace has workshops that they also offer. And we're also going to be trying out how we can bring teams to work together more effectively and really achieve synergy, because a lot of the leaders that we have in our program are having to lead through influence. So that's a different challenge for them. And these are global leaders with really big teams of thousands of people underneath them that are really dependent on their ability to lead and manage change. So when we did this, some of the skills that really came up that were common across the board was change management. Managing managers was also something that they were still very much struggling with, and the ability to adopt quickly the spearhead the digital transformation. So I'm happy to turn it over to Omer so that he can tell you guys, the magic behind Growthspace and why it works, and it works so good and so fast. And then, I'm happy to also tell you afterwards what's my experience working with them. Because I also think that it's not just about the solution, it's about the team that you partner with. And one of the things, I'll just tell you this, that I really loved is that it's ready to go. I didn't have to put a lot of hours, a lot of time in making sure that we prepared it so that it would work in our organization. It's really ready to go. So I'll turn it over to you.
Thank you so much. So great to meet you, everyone. And I think that's what we're all about. And when we started Growthspace, it was 5 years ago, just when the pandemic hit. Actually, it was the idea of my co-founder, Dan. I'll give him the credit, but basically he worked for a lot of companies, a lot of large companies, and actually they had really high attrition. And they figured out that like the attrition, people are leaving because they have basically skill gaps, right? Like usually, we just talked about it today, people leave because of their managers. People leave because they don't see a career progression. People leave usually not because of the comp, but it's like the manager, the career progression, like how can I become better at something? And no matter what he did, nothing really worked. Like in skill development, no one talked back then, I'm talking 2018, 2019, and no one talked about skill-based organizations, right? Now everyone talks about skill-based organizations because I think companies did the connection between profit, between growth, between business transformation to upskilling or skill, like offering skill development, upskilling, reskilling, skill development to your people. So I have some slides, I'm not sure what they are even, but like when you think about skill development, you think, okay, what large enterprise, like TELUS Digital, 70,000 employees, and Marcela's team has 30 people, right? It's not so balanced. Like it's like the ratio is crazy for 30 people to do skill development for 70,000 people, right? They need some support. So most organizations are basically doing two things. Like usually it's big bucket of leadership development. In leadership development, you're trying to do two things in simple words. Making managers better, right? Whether they're like frontline managers, whether they're like managers of managers up to like VP or C-suite, or preparing people for future promotion, succession groups, high potential, and so forth. The connecting thread between them is skills. They need to be better at something. Sometimes they need to learn how to use AI. Sometimes they need to learn how to manage better. Sometimes they need to communicate better, to sell better, to do better keynote, right? A lot of different skills that people need. And then when we started Growthspace, we thought, okay, what's the best skill development in the world, right? Like what's the ultimate thing? Let's say I'm a CEO of a company, and I'm really a CEO of a company, but let's say I need to do a keynote. And I'm not so good at it, right? English, as you can hear, is not my first language. Maybe I need some more experience. What would you advise me to do? Probably what you will tell me is, hey, yeah, what's the ultimate skill development? So you will tell me, yeah, go get a TED Talk trainer, probably, who will help you, right? Few sessions, you will be better. That's how it works, right? And same for someone who needs like a sales training or something like that. That's basically the best skill development. Finding an expert in something very specific who can teach you to be better at something specific, right? It's not the same expert for everyone. It's very unique. I'll talk about it later. So basically, that's what we came up with, like the best skill development you can offer. Sometimes it's one-on-one, sometimes it's a small cohort because people learn from each other. But it's always about the deliveries from someone who specializes in the specific skill you need, because public speaking is not sales and sales is not AI. And the second thing is to understand your context, because let's say you want to be better in managing people and you work in retail, it's different than tech and it's different than manufacturing, right? And also managing a tech sales team is different than managing a tech R&D team, right? It's very, very generic, like is specific. So you need the expertise and you need the context. That's like the secret sauce of basically what we do, and Marcela's great experience. So we work with a lot, our main focus, sorry.
No, I was just going to say, one of the things that I also love that you guys have is like, and I really love the tagline. It said, we believe in chemistry. And then you have to answer a few questions about you and your preferences. And then you get a couple of options and you can review their profiles and their stars, you know, how are they rated? And you get to choose, but the algorithm is already giving you someone with the industry, with the background, but also on personal preferences on how do I best connect with someone. And I really love that you guys do that as well.
Thank you. So we're very fortunate to work with the largest companies on the planet, including TELUS Digital. We're backed by Microsoft. They're also a customer, and you see some cool logos there, which is basically kind of like the echo of like the work we're doing. But again, I want to talk about, again, how the precision skill development works. So the secret sauce, again, it's two things. You need a delivery of an expert who specializes in something specific, that's the skill, and also shares your background. That's the ultimate thing you can offer someone. So it's two layers of precision. And then basically the system works on a very deep taxonomy of over 1,100 skills that are categorized. Let's say you see your communication that goes down to presentation, that goes down into storytelling. And then you have the background that takes into consideration the industry, the function, and the role of the person. And then what you're trying to do is to do them both. So instead of like saying, hey, I want to improve my communication skills and I will work with, let's say, an ICF certified coach, which is sometimes what companies do, we take it two levels deeper. So let's take this person, I cannot see what, but it's a product marketing director who works in tech. And let's say her specific skills, it's never communication. It's understanding communication styles, but in her case, it's of global sales teams, right? It's unique to her role and to the specific skills she needs to be better at. And maybe she wants to work on cross-functional collaboration with sales and product teams. It's very unique, so you need the skill, you need the context, or giving feedback to product managers. So the skill matters, the context matters, and then we go from, hey, let's improve your communication, to working with someone who is very specific to the skill that you need and the background that you need. And there's some more examples. I don't think it's that relevant, but basically there are a lot of ways to do skill development, and it's all about the specific person. And like Marcela said, programs are complicated creatures because you're trying to achieve different things. So sometimes you want to do it in a one-on-one setting, sometimes in a group setting, sometimes in a workshop, sometimes you want to use your own internal experts. So basically that's what you do in the platform. And everything, AI is connected to everything, from the assessment, like the skill assessment of what do I need to work on. There are like 1,100 skills, like a very big menu to choose from, until like to the support of the skill development, to the matching. There are approximately 3,000 experts globally, 75 different countries, so you need to match everyone very precisely. So that's Growthspace, high level.
Yeah, and I would add that I've worked with other vendors, and sometimes it feels like you need to have someone in your staff, almost like full-time, supporting the implementation of a new partner, because it takes so much to not only prepare it, deploy it, but sustain it. And this is actually very effortless for me and for my team. We don't have to put a lot of extra hours. Like, it's really built to make you self-sufficient as well. Like, I'm not dependent on the Growthspace team to like run reports and give me data or upload, participants. They set us up so that we can do it all ourselves, and it's very minimum effort for us to do it, very short learning curve. So, I mean, that's why I really praise not only the tool, what it can do for you, the effectiveness of it, the engagement at a user, because they have no time to waste, right? And they need to deliver right away. So what a best way for you guys to be the heroes in the sense where you actually provide something that is going to make a difference for them and really work without making your life impossible, or really harder than it already is. So yeah, that's what we did, and that's what we're doing in the next year. Continuing to partner and continuing to see more use cases, because the business is actually the one saying, give me more of this. So thank you.